Alright, sorry for no race video. Was not feeling good yesterday. Decided to just not worry about racing. So instead, let's do a quick, fun video of my wish list for oval racing. What I would like to see come to iRacing. And my number one request, just because we are limited on big tracks that we don't have, because we've got pretty much all of them that still exist, but this one right here we do not have, and I think it would be a great track to get. Now there is a little issue here with turn one. They got a big patch over the tunnel and it looks really rough. I think that would need to be smoothed out, but Pikes Peak International Raceway, a 1 mile flat track, 10 degrees of banking in the corners. It would provide a lot different racing than we have since the mid 2000 Bank Fest, where they made everything high banked. If you're not familiar with it, it was used quite a bit. Nationwide, IndyCar, USAC. Amazingly, they ran midgets here as well. So, Busch Series, they came here quite a bit. And you can tell, very low bank. I mean, Vegas was low bank. Kansas was sort of low banked. Homestead was low banked. This was back when we didn't have to have tons of banking and they actually used brakes. But it's a really cool track and something that we do not have currently on the sim. Alright, number 2 on my list. We're still sort of in the desert, but we're in a different country now. We're down in Mexico. And we have got this track. This is like a kind of morphed concrete Iowa El Dorado Speedway that the NASCAR Mexico Series races at. So it is a 0.625 mile track, so not quite as big as Iowa. But yeah, it's been used in the Mexico Series off and on. 20 degrees banking. Here's what it looks like. And this is their really slow truck series, but quite high banked. Definitely's got some character to it. A lot of rough bumps and dips, and yeah, it's like Bristol and Iowa having a baby. But yeah, the front stretch is strange. It's another one that I think would be a great track. Number 3 on the list, and this one's already scanned. iRacing's already been here and scanned it. Rockingham, UK. Would make a great IndyCar track, Silver Crown. The NASCAR guys would hate it because it would be difficult and it's not American, but I think it would be a great track. They didn't continue on because the track started to struggle, went under, got bought, and it's been on and off on if it's even open or not. Plus with Twin Ring not doing well, they realized that NASCAR guys only want NASCAR tracks and don't like to do anything outside the box. So the oval is a 1.5 mile track, and it is banked 3.5 to 7.9 degrees. So really a whole lot of nothing there, which would make it harder, but it would also make it a really good IndyCar track. We've got this right there. From that view, it looks kind of like Indianapolis. Obviously, it's in a lot better shape in this video, but yeah, you can tell very little banking, very wide though. Didn't look that wide from the aerial view, but you're also forgetting that it's a 1.5 mile track. But yeah, they're doing 208 in Indy cars here. It would definitely be a unique challenge for stock cars. and Silver Crown with the 4 different corners. But number 3 on my wish list, and one that I hope we get just because of its uniqueness and because it's already scanned. Alright, next one on my list, it's an obvious need. It's an ARCA track. We're gonna get it eventually, unless there's some weird issue with licensing or the owners for some reason dislike sim racing, because that has happened before. But Toledo, half-mile track, like 12-15 degrees banking. We also get this crazy little Legends track in here. No one likes to just make a normal looking Legends track. It's also really hard to do when you have the bankings coming off, but also looks like they somehow got a figure 8 in there, but yeah, a little messy there. But it's a unique old track with a lot of history, really deep roots to ARCA. I think ARCA might even own it, but would be a good get for short track community and for the ARCA series. You see it's got the dumb little foam barriers on the outside wall, really wide, but obviously very one lane. Kind of Five Flags feel to it is really what I get. Grass though on the inside of 3 and 4, pavement inside of 1 and 2, pit lane through 1 and 2, and not on the front stretch. Always a unique layout like that. Alright, now for my final track that still exists on my wish list, Salem. Loved this place in ARCA Sim Racing. From the aerial view, it doesn't look too exciting. It looks like just another oval. This is 33 degrees of banking. Yeah, we're getting Winchester eventually, sometime. But this one, I would love to have this. Just massive bank turns there. They're doing little cut downs right there. Loose all over the place. But such an awesome track. I would love to have it in the game. Hopefully one day. We'll see how Winchester does if we ever get it. And yeah, let's move on to a couple of tracks that they'd have to do a lot of guesswork on, but I would love to have them in the game. The number 1 track that I would like to see built that no longer exists. I know you were expecting Nazareth, but this one is one of those that very few people even remember existed. And we've got to go on the timeline to go find it. And probably 2005. Let's see if the track still exists. There it is. Chicago Motor Speedway. 1 mile, oval, long straights, tight corners. Very, very unique and flat. 1 mile track. As you can see, the lap times, Champ Car was doing, what do we got for lap records here? 23-second laps. Stock cars, 31. Truck series, 31.5-second laps. Very little banking. So here you can see the track right there. Very unique. As you can see, very flat turns, long straights, and just a unique brand of racing. This is when they were actually trying to design tracks that weren't the same as everything else. And sadly, tracks like this vanish and go away. But those are some massive straightaways and some tight corners. It's like Super Martinsville, essentially. Just to see some faster laps here. Kart series. Flying through these tight corners. A little bit of a Milwaukee feel, but much tighter corners. And I think longer straightaways. Yeah, definitely longer straightaways. Just seeing how long it took them to get down through that. But, yeah. Definitely would be a unique one. All right, sticking with the early 2000s timeline that we're looking at on images. Everyone should know this. If you have any NASCAR history, we'll put the start finish line at the bottom here, give you a better idea. Nazareth, what a unique track. I mean, this thing is like Phoenix, Pocono, and just a weird mix of turns that honestly I think current generation new NASCAR fans, they would hate this place. But it was such a unique track, such an awesome place, and just something different. But sadly, it is now just destroyed and weeds. They could go out and get a decent scan for the general idea of the banking and the layout to work with, but it'd probably just be best to make it up and go off of, you know, images and other stuff that we have rather than going out and scanning. Although if they just drive around with their car scanner, it would give that basic layout and have to smooth things out. But another track that would be great to have in the sim, and yeah, sadly uniqueness dies off in racing, it seems. So that is number 2. And the final one that I want is definitely a unique track. If you ever played the old NASCAR games, 1999 edition, you know this place well. It's awesome, short track, Flemington, not too far away from where we just were, Nazareth. This is in New Jersey, and yeah, that's a square. Well, a rectangle, I guess it's not perfectly squared. But yeah, this place, definitely a unique location that I would love to have in the game, just because yeah, it's once again been lost in time. So I believe it was a dirt track way in its early years. But let's go look at some videos of the racing here. Truck Series at Flemington. Just an old, unique place. And it races like an oval, essentially, because the turns are wide enough. But actually, it races more like a circle. But yeah, I really wish that we had tracks like this, Nazareth, Louisville, you know, all these unique tracks that have just vanished in time. And this one would be great. I think everyone would love it. But sadly, probably never going to happen. So let me know. What do you want to see? What tracks do you want to see? I know that, you know, we got the Texas World Speedway or whatever it was. We've got older versions of Homestead. I would love the flat Homestead or the Indy Homestead, Ontario. What tracks would be on your wish list if they could go back in time, or just scan them now if they're still around? But yeah, that's my wish list. Let's hear what yours is.